Hey people, you're welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Norma. So in today's video, we're going to be learning how to make these beautiful shorts you can see right here on the thumbnail. So we're going to be using this white fabric, and as you can see, I folded the fabric into two, just like so. So now I'm going to be folding it with the largest part of my body, which is my hip measurement, divided by 4. So now I'm just trying to rule the starting point, as in where I'm going to be starting all my measurements from. So that is what I just ruled out now. So from that point, I'm going to be taking 1 inch away from it because it's going to be having a band of 1 inch. So I'm going to be taking 1 inch away from my tape, like so. So from there, that's where I'm going to be starting my measurement from. So that 1 inch I've taken away from that part, I'm going to be replacing it with a band of 1 inch. So now I'm taking my full length of the short, which is 20 inches. So if you're actually folding your fabric, you take 2 inches from that point. So you're going to be using the 2 inches for the folding. But as for me, for this tutorial, I'm not going to be folding my shorts. I'm going to be adding another material. I'm going to be using it to do something like a turn up at the knee point. So that's why I didn't bother adding any extra allowance. So from the waist, I'm not going to be going in with my waist measurement. I'm also taking my hip measurement because I'm going to be putting elastic at the both sides of the shorts. So I just went ahead to take my hip measurement for the waist. And from that point, I'm taking away my 1 inches for my band, and I'm coming down to my hip depth, that is my hip line. So the same thing I took at the waist, I'm going to also take that same thing for my hip. That's my hip divided by 4. So I'm going to be coming down to my knee point now, but when you're taking measurement for your knee, please, because our legs are not straight, so we have to come in at that point by 2 inches, so that we'll rule a slanted line to meet at the hip point. So from that 2 inches you came in from, that's where you're going to be starting your measurement from. So your knee now divided by 2. Our knee and our thigh should be divided by 2, but your hip and your waist is divided by 4, please. My knee is 20 inches. 20 inches divided by 2 is 10 inches, and my thigh divided by 2 as well. And that's what I placed there. So I'm going to be extending my crouch depth there, and I'm connecting it to that knee point, as you can see. Because that's my hip point and my crouch, I just said to take the measurement from the same point, okay? But if your crouch is you can also measure your crouch basically and take that measurement from there. So from that crouch line, I'm going to be coming up by 1 inch to give it that curve there and connecting it back to that line as shown. So before I cut this out, I always like to add half an inch on that my crouch point there, so that when I'm joining my bodies together, I'll use that allowance for it. But you can also skip that, but for me, I like doing this. Just connect it like so. So right now, I'm just going to cut this out. Just cut it out. Just cut, cut, cut. So I'm just going to be slitting that part open because that part remains actually the same. It's just from the hip depth there, I'm going to be slanting it the way I am doing just now. So this is our front block. So I'm going to be cutting out using this front panel to cut out the back. So I folded my fabric again into two. So for the back, I'm going to be coming up by 1 inch at that center point there, and I'm going to be ruling a slanted line from that point to meet the side. Okay, the sides have to remain the same, but because of our butt, for the back to be able to contain our butt, we have to extend that crouch area upward by 1 inch. So at the crouch point there, I'm going to be coming out by 2.5 inches to extend my back crouch. 2.5 inches. You can come out by 2 inches depending on the kind, okay? So but for the side here, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches at the middle, rather, not the sides. I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches, and when you're ruling out your measurement for the crouch, please make sure the line is the same as the front, okay? Just make sure it's the same as the front, and I'm going to just connect it properly so you can see what I'm doing. So that line, I make sure is the same, is sitting on the same point as the front. Just connect it like so. So I'm also going to come to the thigh area and the knee area and also add 1.5 inches all the way. So now I'm going to be cutting that out as well. Just trying to lay it properly and cut it. slit that side open as well, then before cutting the slanted area. There's so many ways you can actually cut your short, but I think this is the easiest way for even beginners to understand. Okay, so if you're a beginner, I think this video is for you. So so I went in by 2 inches at that point because our short is going to be having a side pocket. So I went in by 2 inches and I ruled 6 inches. You can also take 7 inches, but I like 6 inches. Okay, I don't like my pocket to be too wide, so I just connected it slanted to the waist area, and that's what I'm cutting out right now. So as you can see, that point is slanted. We're going to be fixing our pocket there. So now I'm about to cut out the pocket for the two sides. So I folded the fabric into two, then I measured 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay, depending on how wide you want your pocket to be. Basically, this is not a standard measurement, depending on how you want your pocket to be. Okay, but I use 8 inches by 8 inches, just like a square. Please, when you're doing this, make sure it is on fold. Okay, like you can see, the other side is on fold. Okay, so before cutting out the 8 inches, so by the time you spread it out, one side will be 18 inches by 8 inches. Okay, when I open it up, it will be 18 inches, sorry, 16 inches by 8 inches, not 18, please. So but when unfold, it is 8 by 8. So I'm going to use that exact one to cut out the second pocket, like you can see here. So I've cut out the both fabrics for the two pockets. So now I'm going to be placing it on top of each other. Please, right side facing right side. Okay, it's either you place it right side facing right side or wrong side facing wrong side, so that when you're trying to cut out the side slanted part for the pocket, you won't end up having one side. Okay, you know our pocket is on the right and on the left, so you have to place it right side on right side, please. So now I'm going to be bringing my front panel and placing it on one side of the pocket. So that is what I'm going to be using to trace out that exact same slant I have on my bodies. I'm going to be using it to cut out the exact same slant. Okay, like so. So make sure that part rests on the edge properly before you cut it out on one side. Okay, when you place the fabric on each other, just put it on one side of the fabric and cut out. So now I have two for each pocket. So now I'm going to take to my sewing machine, and first of all I'm going to be joining the crotch area together, the front and the back. So I'm done joining the crouch area. So I brought it back to show you guys how you can fix the pockets. So this is the front, that's the back panel. This is the front panel where we're going to be inserting so that's the front panel where we're going to be inserting our pockets. So I'll take one piece of the pocket and right side facing right side. I'm going to be joining it together at that slanted point with half an inch. So I'll do the same thing on the other side of the pocket. So I'm done joining the pocket at that point, like so. So what I'm going to be doing next is, this is the front, that's the crouch area. So this is the area I just joined. I'm trying to explain it very well so you can understand me. So I'm going to flip it over. I come again. I'm going to be flipping this over like so. Then push it towards the back of the shorts. And I'm going to be taking it back to the sewing machine and top stitching on it just to hold it down firmly. So I've gone ahead to top stitch on it. So I'm going to be flipping this short back to the wrong side so you can see what we're about to do next. So after flipping it this way, I'm going to be bringing the other end. Okay, watch closely please, you need to pay serious attention to this part. Flip it this way back. Okay, make sure the waist is aligned with the main short, and also the sides are aligning properly, because we're going to be using that part to replace the 2 inches which we took away also. So now I'm going to be going in to stitch that down part of the pocket by half an inch and close that point, and also stitch that point so it will be firm. So I'm back. I've done that. You can see I stitched that place down, close, stitch that side and also the waist side together. So when I flip it to the front, this is what we have. So we have our pockets ready. You can put your hands inside. Okay, I've also gone ahead to do the same thing to the other side of the pocket. So now I'm going to fold the fabric together like so again, and I'm going to be removing half an inch from the waist area. Okay, this is optional, but I think it's preferable you remove it. You can go down as much as 1 inch, but I'm going to be taking half an inch just to give it that slight curve at the waist area. You know our waist is curvy, so we need to curve this part a bit. So I'll just bring my scissors and cut it out. So I'm going to be opening my short like so, and bringing the back panel, placing it on top of each other, right side facing right side. I'm going to be joining the crouch area to the knee. Make sure the lines are touching each other at that midpoint. Okay, you can go on and use a pin and stitch it, then sew with half an inch. So I'm back. I'm done doing that, like you can see. I've also gone ahead to stitch the sides as well. Okay, so I'm going to be turning it inside out. Then I'm going to be cutting a long fabric that I'll be using for my band. So I'll be cutting I'll take the measurement of my waist circumference, and I'll cut out that, and also take the measurement of my knee circumference, because I told you I'm also going to be using a fabric to turn it out. So these are the straps which I just cut out. I measure 3 inches by the waist measure circumference. Okay, so my material was not enough, so I had to cut another one. So I'm going to be joining it at that point so that it can go around my waist. And these are the other two, also 3 inches width and the length, as in the circumference of my knee. So that 3 inches is because it's going to be on a fold. That is why it's 3 inches. By the time you take half an inch in sewing it, after folding it, it will become 1 inch. Okay, you know, when you fold it, it becomes 1.5 inches. So that's 0.5 inches. That half inches you're using it to sew as your sewing allowance. So by the time you're done, you have 1 inch. Okay, so I've gone ahead to use half an inch to join it to the waist area first. Then I'm going to turn it this way, fold my fabric like so at the tip of the band, and turn it on top of the main trousers like so. So I'll just top stitch on top of it neatly like so. Okay, so when I'm top stitching, I'm going to be leaving holes at the side where I'm going to, by the time I take the measurement of where I'm going to be passing my elastic. And I also do the same thing for the knee. So guys, this is the final look of our short. I had to pair it with a top. As you can see, it's sitting beautiful. Okay, you can see how beautiful our short is looking. Guys, please subscribe to our channel. Okay, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe and join this beautiful family. Okay, I'll be dropping more tutorials, easy and detailed tutorials here for you guys. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Please like this video. Okay, give this video a thumbs up, and also leave a comment on the comment section below. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Bye.